What if refusing to give kids the presents that they wanted could actually make them happier in the long run? I know that's fighting words for anybody with kids, but we've also got kids. And the truth is, I think kids are going to be okay with this plan because my expectation is that you're actually going to be less okay with it than the kids will. They'll be happy in the long run. You might be a little disappointed in the short run. Today, let's talk about exactly how to set kids up financially at each holiday the easiest possible way and keep everybody relatively happy in the meantime. I'm Brendan, and I've been studying personal finance and investing for 15 years, and my wife and I became millionaires 2 years ago at 35 years old, and no, we didn't inherit $1 million. We also have 2 kids under 5 years old, so I realize this is a bit of a dodgy subject when it really comes down to it, but I'm going to experiment with this myself, and I also feel like it's worth experimenting in your own life, so let me explain the plan. As our kids get older and as every holiday rolls around again and again, and as our house fills up with toys because we're fortunate enough to be in a first world country with family and friends and supportive people and a desire to bless our own kids and give them gifts and have a fun time, the reality is they just end up with a ton of stuff. And whenever I see a ton of stuff, especially things that are toys that get ruined easily or lost or forgotten, I just can't help but think about the opportunity cost and say, both literally and figuratively, it's getting thrown away. Toys get broken and forgotten and thrown away, and after 18 years, the kid just has bags and bags of trash. So what if we developed a crazy, lofty plan and said, let's change the social dynamic around holidays and the expectation of kids getting as much toys and junk as possible, and instead split both the effort and the money to be half oriented towards today and half oriented towards the future. This structure is also reflective of what we want to teach our kids, that it's not just all about consumption and getting everything you want and making a list of stuff that you like and then working to acquire the stuff. Our lives aren't about acquisition. If we can help our kids to understand that moderation is healthy and also a long-term perspective is healthy, they may just be set up to be more successful adults too. So all that to say, the big, giant, crazy, basic plan is take half the money that you are going to spend on the kid anyway and buy them stuff, buy them clothes and toys and other things that they think that they want. Take the other half of the money and save it for them. But save it for them in a very, very specific way. The only reason I would consider doing this is because of the new rules that got rolled out around the 529 college savings plan. It's not just for college. You can put money in here for kids, and whether or not they use it for education expenses, including college, they can actually transfer a huge amount of that money into their Roth IRA. So this year, little Bobby doesn't need 11 new Switch games. Yeah, he would like that, but what if he only got 4 new Nintendo Switch games and the rest of that money went into his college savings plan, which then got rolled over into his Roth IRA, which means at 25 years old, maybe he's got $5,000 or $10,000 already saved for retirement. And because a Roth IRA allows you to withdraw your own contributions, that also gives him flexibility if he needs to buy an engagement ring, buy a house, if he has medical expenses, whatever it is, you're literally setting that kid up for life. To make this happen, we only need to talk about 2 things. Number 1, how much of an impact can this really make? How much money are we talking about here? So the value proposition of the thing. And then the second part will be, how do we actually do this functionally, logistically, with both friends and relatives? How do you get the money from someone's account or cash and put it into a 529 the easiest possible way? Because we have some experience doing this. For the sake of our experiment, let's assume that each kid is going to get $30 per family for their birthday. $30 of toys, $30 of clothes, $30 of something. I know for some of you that's probably too much money. For a lot of people that's probably not enough money, but let's just choose that as a baseline of the value of the gifts each kid is going to get from each family who comes to celebrate them. So if we follow this plan and we say, okay, $15 per family can go towards a gift or a fun thing, and $15 of that will go to a 529 contribution. Let's say on average there's 4 relatives involved. So that could be like mom and dad, grandma, grandpa again, and whatever, an aunt or something like that. I'm trying to make this a very low bar because for a lot of people, there could be a lot more gifts than this. And so let's just set the bar really low and do a low experiment first. So $15 per birthday times 4 relatives, that's $60 per birthday that's going into the 529 for the kid. 18 birthdays later, $1,080 has been contributed to their 529. But if that money has been invested the whole time and it's growing at a theoretical rate of 9% per year, that's $2,700 by the time the kid is actually an adult at 18 years old. No, that's still not a ton of money, but we're only talking about 4 gifts per birthday per year. That's it. We're not counting any other holidays, nothing for Christmas, nothing else, no graduation, no other big holidays. So this is kind of the low starting point. So at 18, they've got $2,700 in their 529. Then if we roll that money over into their Roth IRA, at 30 years old, it could be worth $7,600 if it continues to grow at 9% per year. At 40 years old, it could be worth $18,000. At 50, $42,000, and at 60 years old, $100,000. And I can see the response already because it's also the response that I had. Gosh, 60 years from now, what what's $100,000 going to be worth? Not as much as it is today, right? Inflation is a thing. But let's directly compare the opportunity cost. They could either have $100,000 at 60 years old and a lot of options throughout life before then if they needed to draw on that money for whatever reason, or if we just give them all the toys, then they can have a bunch of broken toys that they don't care about anymore. They're not going to take those toys with them to high school or college or anywhere else. The toys will be literally forgotten or ruined before they even become an adult. And because of the way human psychology works and because of the way compound interest works, we're actually incentivized to do this earlier rather than later. I think this could be a whole revolution in a child's life if instead of a baby shower with tons and tons of cutesy little outfits, kids got contributions to their 529s, maybe even before they're born, because that way you've got the most possible time for this account to grow, and the kid doesn't care. He's not born yet, or he's an infant or whatever, so he's not there to pitch a fit because he didn't get enough toys. Even all the way up to 2 or 3 or 4 years old, a kid's not going to know the difference really between a $15 toy and a $30 toy. So this is the best possible time to take advantage of their lack of awareness and say, hey, mom and dad, let me give you an extra 15 or 20 bucks to put in their 529 plan, because that gives it the most possible time to grow. It sounds really nice whenever a kid's 18 years old and go into high school and you slip them a $100 bill and say, hey, go pay for books or pay for college or whatever, here's some money. But we've given them the least possible gift at that point. If we really want to help somebody out and set them up for life in the best way possible, to give them the biggest gift possible that costs us the least amount possible, we need to do that at an early age. The more you do that, the earlier you do that, the bigger these numbers get. $100,000 may not be a lot 60 years from now, but that number could easily be $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 if we're a little more intentional and hammer that money in there as early as possible. The last thing we need to discuss around this is just the logistics of how to get the money in there, because I know it can be a little bit of a pain. Like, okay, it sounds like a good idea. Maybe you're able to talk all the relatives into it and say, hey, spend less money on gifts and instead give me an extra 20 bucks. But how does that money go into the account? How do we make sure that that actually happens? Well, in my experience in actually doing this, there's two main ways that you can make this happen. The first way is to open the account either in your name or in the kid's name, because we opened an account for our oldest before they were even born. And so I had it in my name. Then once they were born, we transferred it over into their name. So that's an option for you if you want to get started as early as possible. But especially if the child's already born, you set up an account and you can just take cash gifts from people. Have them write you a check, have them slip you 20 bucks, whatever it is. The kid doesn't even need to know it's really happening because they're too young to understand anyway. And then you can deposit the money into the account on behalf of the gift giver. If you do that, I recommend just sending them a screenshot showing that the money has gone into that account for that kid so they can see, hey, look, we've done the thing. The gift has been completed. There's no awkwardness around what happened to the money. Then over time, you could even share the balance with them and say, hey, look, at 6 years old, little Bobby has $1,000 in his 529. That's so great. Thank you for your help. Christmas is coming up. Don't forget to not spend a bunch of money on toys for him. Instead, cut the amount you were going to spend in half and give us half and then spend the other half on toys, or somehow encourage them to think about doing a 529 gift instead of just all material possessions. So you can be the intermediary in option 1. Option 2 is to get set up with an account that allows other people to gift into the account easily and more directly. And that can be handy for them because there could be tax benefits if you contribute to a 529, even if it's someone else's 529, like you can get potentially tax benefits depending on your tax situation, depending on where you live. And so especially if you want to take advantage of that, then I recommend using an easy to gift platform. Now, because I'm a nerd and I open too many accounts, we have 2 different companies that host our kids' 529s. And recently we were able to get gifts from family members to put money into those accounts. And so I had this direct apples to apples comparison between the 2 accounts, and I could see who was easier and who was harder to use. UGift turned out to be by far the easiest in terms of someone else sending money into your child's 529 plan, partially because it was a little bit easier to set up. It's a little bit nicer designed, so it's an easier to use website. But it's also easy because once you set up an account with them, then you could just log back into your UGift account and say, hey, send all 6 of my grandkids 50 bucks for Christmas. Boom, done. And it can be really, really slick that way because you have this kind of recurring account set up. So you're not restarting every single time and setting up an account or typing in, your account numbers and all that kind of stuff. You basically set it up once and then you can access that and have that be your distribution center from then on. So I have no affiliation with them. They have no idea who I am. I only know who they are because one of our accounts happens to be set up through them. I actually think, if I remember correctly, I tried to set it up through Vanguard and then it ended up being UGift that Vanguard used. So I don't know if that's still the case right now. If you used Vanguard to open a 529, if they would still go to UGift, or maybe they have their own different platform by now. But all I can say is UGift was a really easy way to send that money. And I realize in suggesting this that I'm basically like asking you to do the impossible, because not only do you have to talk your kids into the prospect of getting fewer presents, you've also got to talk relatives into giving them fewer presents, and instead think about someday when this money could help them, maybe sometime in the future, as long as we do everything right. Like, it seems very ethereal versus I can put a smile on the kid's face face today by giving them this present that they want. You know, it's kind of a question of who are you helping with the gift? Are you trying to benefit by seeing the kid smile, or are you trying to help the kid in the long run, regardless of whether or not you actually see the result of your gift? Kind of a tricky thing. But if you can send this video or my other college savings plan 529 videos to relatives and help them kind of understand what the power of this really is and how meaningful this can be for the kid's life, then I think our kids stand to benefit a lot more in doing things this way. Just my crazy idea, the weird way that I think about things whenever I see like big baskets full of toys, but can't help it. So I want to share the idea with you. Hopefully it works for you. If you do experiment with this, then let me know in a comment. Otherwise, the secret comment word is toy because of obvious reasons. Thank you so much to the channel members who support me directly, who put their money where their mouth is and say that not only do we enjoy your videos, we want to be subscribed, but we want to make sure that you're able to produce videos in the future. Algorithms change all the time. How I could potentially be monetized changes all the time. And I really don't want to rely on sponsorship deals. I don't want to have to deal with the potential for conflicts of interest and stuff like that. So direct support from people like you means the world to me. Thank you so much for your support. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys later. Bye.